is Mykaela and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I'm going to be creating this makeup look right here. I really wanted to have a play around with some color today and some glitter. So this is what I've come up with. If you guys would like to see, then just keep watching. So to start off with, I'm going to be using this primer from Morphe. This is called the Equalizer. I'm going to quickly fill in my brows off camera, so I will be right back. So for the eyeshadows, I'm going to use two different palettes. So the first one is this one here from Be Perfect Cosmetics. It is the Me, Myself and Mitchell palette. So the color that I'm going to go in with first is this one here called Motto. It's a really deep like purple shade, and I'm going to blend that right into my crease all the way from the inner corner to the outer corner. Alright, so now I'm going to switch palettes and go to this one here by Colourpop. This is just filled with super bright like fluoro colors. I made this palette myself, so I'm going to go in with the bright orange shade and just start diffusing the edges of this purple. Now I'm going to go back into the Mitchell palette and I'm going to use this shade here, which is called Muse, and I'm just going to add that in between the orange and the purple shade. So now I'm going to go in with the yellow shade from the Colourpop palette and just use that to further diffuse the edges. Alright, now that that eye is complete, I'm just going to quickly do the other eye before we move on to the next step. Now I'm going to move on to carving out my crease using the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer in the shade Fair Neutral. So now I'm going to do the inner corner highlight using the shade Muffin, but because it has a slight pink undertone, I'm going to mix it with a little bit of the yellow and orange shade from the Colourpop palette. Okay, now I'm going to move on to the lid colour, which I'm actually going to be using a little bit of the MAC blush. This is in the shade Telling Glow. It's an extra dimension blush, and it's this really nice, beautiful orange shade that kind of has like a metallic sort of finish to it. Now I'm just going to add the depth back into the outer corner. So I'm going to go back into the Mitchell palette and go in with a little bit of the shade Motto again and just really press that colour back into the outer edges. Now I'm going to go back in with the Colourpop palette and I'm going to press a really small amount of this pressed orange glitter just over the top of the lid. So now I really want to add a little bit of a different, I guess, dimension of sparkle. So I think I'm going to add a little bit of this one first. This one is by Australis. It's the Middle Liquid Eyeshadow in the shade Amber. And I'm just going to press a tiny bit of that, just like right at the top of the crease. And then I'm going to add a tiny bit of the Colourpop, what is this called? The Glitterly Obsessed Body Glitter in Bring the Heat. It's a gold, but it has like some orange sort of reflex to it. So I really want to add a tiny bit of this just over the top of that middle like liquid eyeshadow that I just applied from Australis. So I'm going to take a really small like definer brush and just try and press a tiny bit of that over the top. Okay, and now I'm going to add a liquid liner. So the first thing that I'm going to do is add my MAC Black Track Gel Liner just right at the lash line. Next up, I'm going to add a little bit of this liquid liner from Urban Decay. It's the Heavy Metal Liner in the shade Starfire. So it's this really nice, kind of like orange bronzy sort of shade, and I'm going to add that across the black liner that's at my lash line. So I'm just going to apply it just right across the top of that. So next up, I'm going to move on to mascara, and then we're going to apply some lashes. So for mascara, I'm going to use this one here. It's by Rimmel. It's called the Extra Super Lash in the shade Black. Next up, I'm going to move to applying some lashes. So I'm using these ones here from Model Rock. These are in the style Tatiki, I think is how you pronounce it. They're super big and long and like fluffy and wispy at the edges, which I'm so excited for because I love big lashes. Wow, these lashes are so nice. Look at the difference. They make such a difference to how the eyes look once you've got lashes on. Now I'm going to move on to my skin. For foundation, I am using the Hourglass Vanish Stick Foundation in the shade Golden Neutral. Moving on to concealer, I'm going to use the Tarte Shape Tape in the shade Light Medium. Now I'm just going to contour my nose using the Huda Beauty Tantour Contour and Bronzer Cream in the shade Light. I'm now going to just set my under eyes using the Huda Beauty Translucent Powder in the shade Pound Cake. To set the rest of my skin, I'm just going to go in with the Studio Fix powder in the shade NC35. In my lower lash line, I'm going to put this liner here from Colourpop. It's the cream liner in the shade Piggy Bank. So for bronzer, I'm going to go in with the MAC Mineralized Skin Finish in the shade Give Me Sun. And now I'm going to go back in with the MAC Extra Dimension Blush in the shade Tell and Glow and just add that on the cheeks. To highlight my skin, I'm going to go in with the OXX Bloom Marbled Highlighter in the shade number 1 Chrome. I love this highlighter so much. It's so intense. Moving on to the lips, I'm going to use this lip pencil from Morphe. This is in the shade Trendsetter. And then for lipstick, I'm going to use the MAC Peach Stock. And I'm going to mix over the top a little bit of the Morphe lipstick in the shade Boo. So this one's a little bit more kind of orange. And last up, I'm using setting spray from Morphe. This is the Luminous setting spray. For today's video, you guys. I really hope you enjoyed seeing how this makeup look came together. As always, if you did enjoy, then please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel down below if you haven't already. And until the next one, I will see you guys later. Bye!